I was too upset yesterday to talk about it, but several people in my comments asked me to bring it up. So here we go. Yesterday, Republicans in the Senate confirmed Emil Bove to the Third Circuit. It is a lifetime appointment. He will not only be a judge there, but he will be on the short list for the next Supreme Court appointment. First off, I just want to say fuck you to every Republican in the Senate who voted to confirm this man. We knew when Republicans crammed their big, nasty, bloated budget bill down our throats, which has now been signed into Trump's tax law, giving $150 billion to expand ICE, gutting Medicaid and SNAP benefits, also making big cuts to Medicare, giving huge tax breaks to the billionaires, empowering Trump to do whatever he wants. Oh, yeah, also making it much harder for our kids to take out student loans and go to college and graduate school. I mean, the list of horrible things in that law is just like... We knew when that got passed that Republicans have fully cemented themselves as a party of fascism, that they have absolutely betrayed their oath to the Constitution. They have betrayed their constituents. They are betraying American democracy. They have shown that they are either all gutless, chicken shit cowards who are giving in to the intimidation tactics of Donald Trump, all of his mob-style bullying, and or, because you know what, it's not a binary here, it can absolutely be both. They are craven, selfish, greedy people who are trying to protect their jobs, their personal wealth, and their influence. And so they are willing to betray all of us. They are willing to sell out American democracy. They are willing to fuck the future of this country for that protection and that profit. We know the Republican Party is no more. It is a full party of fascism. We now have two parties in the United States, a fascist party and the Democrats. I know we would like something else, but that's the reality of what we are dealing with right now. So Emil Bove was Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney. He was confirmed yesterday in a Senate vote 50-49. Senator Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska defected from the rest of their party at the last minute to join the Democrats in opposing. I mean, we see this over and over again. Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, this is what I think of both of them. They repeatedly love to clutch their pearls and be like, we don't like what Trump is doing, but then they fall in line anyway. The only times we see the two of them step out of line is when they know that the Republicans are going to have the votes anyway. It's entirely performative. They are pandering to their base. They're desperate for those independents in their districts to not turn on them. They want to be like, I tried, you guys. Look, I'm standing up. I know that what Donald Trump is doing is wrong. In the end, I'm going to vote to make sure or align myself with everything the rest of the Republicans are doing. The only time I'm going to stand up is when it's performative. It's ahead of the vote when I say, like, I don't like this, you guys. I don't think this is a good thing. But then I fall in line at the end and cast my vote with the rest of the Republicans. Or when I know they already have the votes, I will do this show of being like, guys, I didn't want this. But don't buy it. Do not buy it. Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, if you're in Alaska or you're in Maine, please understand what those ladies are. Please understand. They don't give a shit about democracy. They don't care about it at all. They're just as craven. They're just as interested in protecting their political power and their wealth as all of the other Republicans in the Senate. Let's not forget that Lisa Murkowski voted for the big nasty budget bill, even though she said it would be terrible for Americans. She didn't like it. And then she tried to get special carve-outs for Alaska because she was afraid that her voters would be pissed off. So she was like, hey, the rest of America, all you other 49 states, y'all can just get fucked. Good luck with Medicaid being good. I'm going to try and protect Alaska, right? I know this is terrible, but I'm not going to speak out against it or try and stop it. I'm definitely not going to urge my fellow Republicans to abandon Donald Trump and for once fucking stand up for democracy. No. They won't do that. Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, for me, I have a special kind of hatred for both of them, because they pretend to be one thing when it's politically expedient for them. I mean, I almost have more respect for the craven far right, like fucking Mark Wayne Mullen, fucking Ted Cruz, at least those monsters, you know what you're getting. They're not a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're not dissembling and pretending that they don't like what's happening. They're gleefully embracing it. Okay, I spent way too much time being pissed off at Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Anyway, yeah, do we need more Republicans who are peeling off and are willing to stand up against what Trump is doing? Yeah, is that likely? No, not at this point in time. I know I've said in the past that we should support Republicans when they show any inclination to distance themselves from Trump, to stand up to what he's doing. But the thing is, I don't think Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski have done that even once. I do not think they have stood up to Trump even one time thus far. They just want you to think that they have so that you'll keep voting for them. But let's get back to Republicans voting to confirm Emil Bove, despite the fact that multiple whistleblowers came forward and said, y'all, this guy is not going to uphold the law. He'll do anything Trump wants. He's actually said you should defy other judges' orders. I'm going to quote Senator Cory Booker here real quick. Look at the record. Emil Bove has shown time and time again his disrespect for the office he seeks to hold. I don't know of another case I have seen in my 14 years in the Senate where someone so unqualified for the bench is before us. Let's not forget that before he went to work for the Department of Justice, Emil Bove was Donald Trump's personal attorney who represented him in the criminal probes around the retention of classified documents, and also into his efforts to subvert the 2020 election results. We saw Democrats standing up and making their case to Republicans that Bove was wholly unfit for the position. Bove has shown that he will do whatever Donald Trump wants. He has no interest in engaging in upholding the rule of law. Let's not forget that he dismissed the federal corruption charges against Eric Adams. He also fired prosecutors who worked on cases during the Biden administration that had to do with the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. I mean, I want us to remember how far they are trying to move the needle, how the things that Trump is doing, the Republicans are doing now, would just be outrageous, would not even have been considered a year ago or 5 years ago. 3 whistleblowers came forward against Bove during his confirmation process, and Republicans were like, yeah, that's fine. We're still going to vote for this because it's what Daddy Donald wants. One of those whistleblowers was a former DOJ official who said that Bove had recommended that DOJ employees defy immigration court orders. Democrats wanted that whistleblower to testify under oath, and Chuck Grassley, 90-plus-year-old Iowa senator who ran the committee, declined that request and doubled down on the Senate floor on Tuesday against insinuations that he was shirking his responsibility to thoroughly go through Bove's credentials. A second whistleblower came forward offering support for the first complaint, and then a third with even more evidence. Chuck Grassley blocked all of that testimony from being taken under oath. What are y'all doing, Iowa? What are y'all doing re-electing this guy over and over again? I don't want to diminish the fact that Democrats in the Senate worked really, really hard to try to pull off 2 more Republicans to get them to vote to deny this confirmation. They needed 2 more votes because they already had Collins and Murkowski. But again, they only had them because those 2 knew that no more Republicans were going to defect. They couldn't just have 1 because then J.D. Vance would come in and break the tie. Again, at any point in time in the past, Republicans would never have stood behind this. This is why I say they're a fully consolidated party of fascism, and they will do whatever Donald Trump wants. Can you think of any other appointment to a court of appeal, a lifetime judge appointment? And Emil Bove is not particularly old, y'all. I think he's in his 40s, where there were 3 whistleblower complaints. And the Republicans in charge, Chuck Grassley, said, we're not going to investigate that at all. And then all of the Republicans, lock, stock, and barrel, got behind Bove and voted to confirm him, except for their 2, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. Senator Dick Durbin said they, the Republicans, can't answer the basic question. Why wouldn't you allow a whistleblower under oath to tell their story as to what he did and lied about before our committee? He said that Republicans were not interested in hearing sworn testimony. They're not interested in truth at all. They're not interested in a functional government. They're not interested in a democracy. Republicans are a fascist party. I will say it one more time. I look forward to the day of accountability. The era of Trump will not last forever. He is an old, old man with declining health. And the day will come when all of these Republicans have to answer for how they have betrayed you and me, their oath to the Constitution and the United States of America.